The Invisible Man, a 1933 black and white Universal monster movie. This one was a lot of fun. It's a little different than some of the others like Dracula and Frankenstein, as the majority of this film is just the Invisible Man basically going around being a jerk. Now I have to admit, the practical effects for the 1930s, they're really pretty cool for this. Just the illusion of him opening and closing doors, throwing beer bottles and stuff around. Some of the effects are neat, and him unraveling the mask on his face. Okay, some of it's a little cheesy, I admit, but for an era before computer special effects, in fact, had the computer even been invented at that point, 1933? I don't know, but the movie's fun. It's a good amount of cheesiness, but it's basically the Invisible Man, played by Claude Rains, like I said, going around being a jerk to people. In fact, he's really rather awful. I mean, we're not talking just him like creeping around scaring people, or the occasional killing of people. He like derails a train. I think they said he killed 100 people. He sends a guy flying off a cliff in his car, and the car, bursts into flames and explodes. And he's strangling people left and right. He's really pretty rotten. So as far as the plot goes, you know the story. He's like a scientist. He invents an invisibility potion. And why does the wind always have to blow when I try to do these reviews outside? Whatever. No one watches my channel anyway. So he invents the invisibility potion that makes him invisible. And the film opens up, he's already become invisible. We don't see any of that actual process. He shows up at this little inn at the beginning of the film, and he's got the bandages and all the crazy Invisible Man stuff on, and all he wants to do is be left alone in his room to do his research to try to reverse this. Well, everybody's nosy and they keep bugging him, and he loses it. And he's got probably the shortest temper of anyone I've ever seen in a film, and he just goes berserk. He's throwing his beer around, laughing as he trips people, and then just kind of runs off. So it's basically, you try not to think of Claude Rains running around naked in the snow, but that's mostly what this film is. Again, the effects are really good. And it comes to kind of the ending you expect. He gets his comeuppance, but I won't give any spoilers on how the entire film ends. Gloria Stewart played his sweetheart, who thinks there's still good in him, but of course there isn't. Una Connor is in this as well. She plays just kind of this daffy older lady, and she was in another couple films I've seen recently. I think it was The Bride of Frankenstein, and some other horror movies like this, and she's great. She was also in The Adventures of Robin Hood with Errol Flynn. E.E. Clive plays the constable, and Dwight Fry, who is kind of the bizarre Renfro character from Dracula, he's briefly in this as well as a reporter. So it's a good film. It's one of those old Universal monster films. There's not a lot in terms of, gory violence, but he definitely does a lot of killing. He's kind of a creep. And you actually don't see Claude Rains' face through the majority. Actually, I think it's all of the film now that I think of it. Very briefly near the end, you get to see his face. And he kind of looks like Pee Wee Herman. It's kind of funny. And Claude Rains, if you don't know, I think of him from Casablanca and films like that, but I guess he shows up from time to time in some of these horror movies. I think he was in The Wolfman as well as the father. So he does a great job in this as just playing an over-the-top scientist who's gone crazy from this invisibility potion. So that's The Invisible Man in 1933. I realize there have been many remakes of this over the years. I don't really care about those, especially the one that just came out. Nah, stick with this one. This is good. Claude Rains really does a great job, and it's worth checking out. Harry Potter.